The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas is set in 17th century France. It recounts the adventures of the young Casanova, D'Artagnan. In this extract, he has fallen under the spell of the pretty yet calculating femme fatale, Milady de Winter, who loves nothing better than the wilful destruction of her admirers. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. D'Artagnan quickly brought his chair closer to Milady's. "Well now," she said, "what would you do to prove this love you speak of?" "Anything that was asked of me. Give me the order and I'm ready." "For anything?" "For anything!" cried D'Artagnan, who knew ahead of time that he was not risking much in committing himself like this. "Well then, let's talk a little," Milady said in her turn, bringing her chair closer to D'Artagnan's. "I'm listening, madame," the latter said. Milady remained anxious and as if undecided for a moment. Then she seemed to make a decision. "I have an enemy," she said. "You, madame?" cried D'Artagnan, acting surprised. "My God! Is it possible, good and beautiful as you are?" "A mortal enemy." "Really?" "An enemy who has insulted me so cruelly that there is war to the death between me and him. Can I count on you as an ally?" D'Artagnan understood then and there where this vindictive creature was heading. "You can, madame," he said emphatically. "My arm and my life are yours, as is my love." "In that case," said Milady, "since you are as generous as you are loving—" She paused. "Well?" asked D'Artagnan. "Well," picked up Milady after a moment's silence, "from now on, stop speaking of impossibility." "Do not overwhelm me with happiness," cried D'Artagnan, throwing himself on his knees and covering with kisses the hands that were surrendered to him. "Avenge me on that infamous De Wardes," Milady murmured between her teeth, "and I'll know very well how to get rid of you afterwards, you double fool, you walking sword-blade. Fall willingly into my arms after having jeered at me so impudently, you dangerous and hypocritical woman," D'Artagnan thought for his part. "And afterwards, I and the man that you want to kill by my hand will both laugh at you." D'Artagnan raised his head. "I am ready," he said. "You've understood me then, my dear D'Artagnan," said Milady. "I could guess from one look of yours. And so you will put your arm to use for me, that arm which has already won such renown, this very instant." "But," said Milady, "how shall I reward such service? I know what lovers are like. They are people who never do anything for nothing." "You know the only response I desire," said D'Artagnan, "the only one worthy of you and me." And he drew her gently towards him. She hardly resisted. "Calculator," she said, smiling. "Ah!" cried D'Artagnan, truly carried away by the passion that this woman had the gift of kindling in his heart. "Ah! It's that my happiness seems so improbable to me, and since I'm always afraid to see it fly off like a dream, I'm in haste to make it a reality." "Well then, try to deserve this supposed happiness." "I am at your orders," said D'Artagnan. "Is that so?" asked Milady, with a final doubt. "Name for me the infamous one who could make your lovely eyes weep." "Who told you I wept?" she asked. It seemed to me, women like me never weep," said Milady. "So much the better. Come, tell me his name." "Realize that his name is the whole of my secret, but I still must know what it is." "Yes, you must. See how I trust you." "You fill me with joy. What is his name?" "You know it." "Really?" "Yes." "It's not one of my friends," D'Artagnan picked up, feigning hesitation to make her believe in his ignorance. "So, you'd hesitate if it was one of your friends," cried Milady, and a threatening gleam flashed in her eye. "No, not even if it was my brother," cried D'Artagnan, as if carried away by enthusiasm. Our Gascon advanced without risk because he knew where he was going. "I love your devotion," said Milady. "Alas, is that all you love in me?" asked D'Artagnan. "I love you, too. You yourself," she said, taking his hand. and the ardent pressure made D'Artagnan shudder, as if in that touch the fever that burned in Milady passed over to him. You love me," he cried. "Oh, if it were so, it would make me lose my reason." And he threw his arms around her. Her lips did not try to avoid his kiss, though she did not return it.